GSM. Because a lot of that is on the GSM side. Let's switch to CDMA, I'm sorry. CDMA plus wireless, WLLM, wireless local loop mobile, it means dollars for Reliance. Does anybody know this fellow? Who knows this fellow? Who is he? Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But he is, actually was considered a genius, wasn't he? Well, in someone's eyes, some people's eyes. This is Reliance and Reliance Infocom, and I believe this is one of the brothers. Now, they've been kind of arguing between brothers, but this fellow set the empire, really put the empire together. And what you see in India, different than China, is that a lot of the mobile players, although similar to Taiwan, a lot of the mobile players come from other industries, like Tata, they do tea, and all kinds of other petrochemicals and all kinds of other industries. So what's happened is these huge conglomerates in India have said, mobile devices, I can make some money. So they're all investing heavily, and so is Reliance. Reliance is super, super aggressive and has developed fairly decent relations with the government. Reliance's objective is to make phone calls, wireless phone calls, cheapest in the world, right? And they've accomplished that for India. And that will really propel the country's information industry and actually communications throughout the whole industry, throughout the whole country. So Reliance is a very, very interesting company, but you see this kind of enthusiasm throughout the conglomerates and the multinationals within India, Wipro, Infosys. They all want to do mobile devices. They all want to be in the wireless industry because that's where the growth is, that's where the money is. Now there is a spectrum role. I think we were talking about that, or I think it was mentioned before. So there's a controversy raging between GSM and CDMA operators over allocation of 3G radio frequency in the 900 megahertz band. What are we using in this country? So GSM operators say that CDMA services using 900 megahertz should create interference in their networks. Ha! But no equipment is available in other frequencies, or at least it wasn't when I put this slide together. GSM operators oppose CDMA entry into the 1900 megahertz band because that frequency is reserved for 3G international. Well, it's a spectrum realm, and the situation is that this. I don't think this has been resolved either, but you can see some of the situation with wireless local loop of the private operators, global status for mobility and wireless local loop. Cellular operators are allowed to charge, as rupees 4 per minute, conversion rate, $1 US. So look at that, low cost for using voice in India. So you would think, why would anybody want to use data when voice is so cheap? Well, data is also evolving. Here's an interesting question. Is India an IT superpower? Take it away, audience. What do you think? This is a question. Can somebody answer that? Is India an IT superpower?
Partially.
Partially. Anybody else? Don't be bashful. I think not yet. India has been called an IT superpower. I call it the IT super tiger. But actually, with annual sales of 2 million computers and about 4.5% of the world total, software piracy still high in India. It's still high in India. Where the domestic consumption, where is the domestic consumption? Where is it? And basically, there is a vision. There are the visions of tomorrow's world from Indian tech leaders. Where is that vision of tomorrow's world? Actually, you do see that vision, but you don't see it in India. You see it in the United States. You see it in Europe. You don't necessarily see it as much in India. Or perhaps we in the West don't read enough about what's going on in India to see that. But it will occur and it will happen. Here's a question. Who's the leader of Vodafone? I think he's from India or something. So basically, no, it's not an IT superpower, but it will, and it can be, India can be a global IT services provider, the back office of the world. India is positioned to be the